Plato's Crito, another chapter in the story of the trial and death of Socrates. Socrates is in prison. He is condemned to die on the day after a certain ship returns to Athens from its mission to honor the god Apollo. Socrates has just had a wonderful dream in which a beautiful woman says something to him about arriving at his home on the third day. And he interprets this as a prophecy that he will die not today, not tomorrow the second day, but the day after tomorrow, the third day, and that accordingly the ship will arrive tomorrow. His friend Crito is visiting him. Crito is a rich man, rich enough to bribe the guards. He has already done so and would like to do so again. He suggests that it's good that they have a little bit of time to spare. Now Socrates can escape, and Crito suggests that he can facilitate the escape, being a rich man. And he tries to convince Socrates that he should do this. Socrates is not convinced. Socrates is not afraid of death. He is not afraid of what the majority can do. There are delightful remarks about the weaknesses of the majority in Plato's Crito. For example, the majority, it is often thought, can inflict the greatest harm. Look at Socrates. The majority of the Athenian jurors have sentenced him to death. But Socrates says it's not like that with anything else. With medicine, who knows what is best? Who knows what is good, what is healthy for the body? Is it the majority? No, it's a doctor. Who knows what is good for horses? It's not the majority. It's a horse trainer or a veterinarian. Who knows what is good for dogs? A dog trainer or a veterinarian. Not the majority. The majority doesn't know anything. And probably for what is really important, for the soul and for what is right, for what is good for the soul and for what is morally right, the majority doesn't have any great knowledge either. Probably the greatest harm is something they cannot do. Socrates even suggests it would be great if the majority could do great harm to me, because then they would be able to do great good. And in a democracy like Athens, this would be good. This would be good news, actually. Nevertheless, it is not the case, and Socrates does not think that they can do much good or much harm. Socrates thinks it is best for him to remain in prison and accept his death sentence. The majority may tell Crito that he did not do what he should have done in not rescuing his friend. But Socrates says, who cares? What does the majority know? You should care about what someone who knows justice would say. Now, let's talk about justice. Crito suggests that the just thing to do would be to escape from prison. Socrates is not convinced. Socrates imagines that the laws of Athens speak with them. He imagines that they are personified and speaking with him in Crito. And the laws give him an argument that he should remain in Athens and accept his penalty. Roughly, the argument is something like this. The laws say, Socrates, you owe us. You owe us your obedience. We organized the city you were born in and grew up in, the city in which you were educated. We organized your life. We are responsible for your existence and for everything about you, and you have accepted all of these things, and you have never even left, though you could have left, you could have immigrated, you could have left Athens, but you stayed here and you benefited from us, and now you owe us, and all you owe us is your obedience. And right now, your obedience happens to involve your acceptance of the death penalty, but that's what you owe us. And it would be unjust of you to refuse this obedience. Neither Socrates nor Crito can come up with a better argument against this. And so the dialogue closes with them convinced that, or at least Socrates convinced, that the just and right thing for him to do is to accept his death. Crito may or may not be exactly convinced, but at least he is left without any counter-argument. So Socrates is giving us a lesson here on the soul. There is such a thing as what is good for the soul. And what is good for the soul is justice and moral goodness. And this matters. This matters even more than life itself. You can go back again to the medical analogy, the body-soul analogy that is so important in the Platonic dialogues. Socrates tells us life with an unhealthy body is not very pleasant. And life with an unhealthy soul is not very good either. And the soul matters even more than the body. And justice is not good for the soul. Injustice is not good for the soul. Acts of injustice are not good for the soul. And so escaping his punishment, which would be an act of injustice, is not good for the soul. And therefore, he should stay and have a just and healthy soul and be a just and good man, even one who is dying, rather than commit an injustice and live.